Hi guys, so today we are going to be trying out some Senegence products. I have tried their products before. I did a first impressions video which I can link above for you, and I also did a review of their foundation which I can link above. But today I just wanted to try doing a couple different looks with all Senegence products except for the lashes and the setting powders that I used. So in this video, I am going to be showing you how you can use their products for a nice daytime, everyday look, and then how to vamp that up and add to it to create more of a nighttime look that I'm wearing right now. So you'll see an everyday look with a couple different lip combinations, and then you'll see this kind of a nighttime going out eye look with a couple different lip combinations as well. So if you're interested to see how I got this look with all Senegence products, minus a few, give me a break, and how I built this look from a more everyday look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna start with is the primer and pore minimizer. So that's what it looks like. This one's nice. And it feels nice and silky. It's rubbing in really nicely. And then I'm gonna go in with the foundation. So I think I can go in with the tan. We'll see. I'll start out with a little bit and see if it's going to match me or not. I think that'll work. Yeah, I feel like that matches pretty well. I do have a bit of a tan and a little bit of a sunburn. The last time that I tried, well, the last video that I used Senegence in for the foundation review, I actually had a sunburn that time too, and it covered it up nicely, so I'm not really worried about that. So this foundation goes on really shiny, as you can see, but I'm gonna set it down with powder. I don't have any Senegence powder to set it down with, so I'm just gonna use my normal powders that I normally use. Okay, so that's the foundation all blended out before we set it. So it is very dewy. I mean, you could leave it like this if you'd like, if you like to have dewy skin. I'm not a dewy skin gal. I like to be matte, especially since I am oily, so I just like to set it down. But before I do that, I'm going to go in with some of the deep color correcting tinted moisturizer to use that as a liquid contour. I'm gonna get a little bit and put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm just gonna go in with the tip end of my sponge and dab into it, and then put it right here. I think that's blending in pretty nicely. I'm gonna bring a little bit onto my forehead too. I'm not dipping into it any more than what I had on it. I don't need it to be super strong up here. Just a little bit. And then I'll dip into it a little bit more for this side. And then I'm just gonna dab. I'm not dabbing into like the big puddle part that I have. I'm just dabbing like where the excess is to get a little tiny bit more, and then I'm just gonna dab some on my jawline. There, I think that blended out pretty nicely. Now I'm just going to set with my powders like I normally do. I use the Becca Hydra-Mist Set and Refresh powder for underneath my eyes. Then I just go in with my sponge. I'm just gonna use the other side of it so that I don't get any of the darkness under my eyes. I do set the sides of my nose with that as well, and like the center of my face. So that's where I get the most oily, like most people. And normally I do set my eyelids with this, but since we're gonna be going in with some liquid shadows, I'm gonna wait on that. And then for the rest of my face, I go in with the Matte and Poreless powder, and I just use a fluffy face brush, and I set the rest of my face. And I am making sure to set where we put the contour as well. The powder is a bit lighter than it, but I want to make sure it's all set so that it doesn't move. And I'm just kind of dusting away the excess powder that I use for my eyes. Okay, so that's all set down. You can see where it's still a bit shiny on my eyelid where I haven't set it, and it is still tacky, but the rest of my face is all set down. I don't have a brow product, so I'm just gonna spoolie through them. I'm not gonna do too much to them today. And I just have this brush. It's by Lavish. It's just a brow groomer brush. It's just a typical spoolie. So I'm just gonna brush through. Okay, so that's the extent of my brows. So we're going to start with the more daytime or like everyday look. So I wanted to just kind of do a winged liner, but I'm going to use some shadow for that instead of liquid liner, just to show you some versatility with the products. I mean, it's liquid, so as long as you have I'm going to be using an angled brush. It's a Moda Pro brush, BMX 498 line, so it's this. So I'm just going to put some of this is the French Roast shade, and I'm just going to put some of that on the back of my hand, pretty good dollop of it, and then I'm going to dip into that. So I just have that much, it's not a lot. I'm just going to dip into that with the brush, and then I'm going to start creating the wing. And since this is a brown, it is less dramatic than a straight black wing, so it blends in a little bit better. So if you're not into like a super dramatic eye, or if you're not really comfortable with wings, the brown tends to conceal some of the mistakes if you're like not super confident with it, and it is more of a natural color. So I'm just filling in the center part, making sure that it's a nice solid shape. And I don't bring my wings all the way in. I used to, but I like how it looks now with just kind of the outer portion. Since I do kind of have small eyes, I feel like it makes them appear a little bit bigger if it's just on the outside, and it also gives you that kind of lifted fox eye look that has been on trend. So I'm just building that up a teeny bit. And what's really nice with these brushes too is if you go like this with the like longer side of the angle, I don't know if I'm describing that correctly, towards the corner of your eye and go out, then you can just make a really sharp line really easily. So I think that looks good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll pop on some mascara. Okay, so that is both wings done. So there's that side. And there's that side. I think it came out pretty even. Pretty happy about that. So like as you can see, it's just a nice subtle wing. It's not jet black, so it kind of blends in with the tones of your face a little better, but it does give you a lifted look and it adds a little something to your eyes. So now I'm just gonna curl my lashes and then add some mascara. So lashes are curled. So now I'm just gonna go in with mascara. Last time I tried this, I complained that it was too dry, so I was told that I needed to warm it up. So I've had it between my legs the entire time to get it nice and warm. I'm gonna start with the primer. I have the mascara and primer little duo. The primer is called Undersense, and then this is the black mascara. So I'm just gonna go in with the primer first. And the primer is gray, so you can see where you've put it on your lashes. But it also means that you need to do a good job when you put on the mascara to make sure you cover up all the gray. Okay, so primer is on. And I'm just gonna go over that with the mascara. I still don't very much like the mascara. It's still really dry. I don't know if it's the primer underneath. Maybe I would like it better if I didn't use the primer. I used the primer last time too. But it's just quite dry. And it is warm, so I'm not really sure. It might just be the primer, because the primer does make your lashes kind of hard. So I'm not a fan of the mascara. This time I feel like it's actually making my lashes look a lot clumpier than they did last time too. So if I ever feel like my lashes are too clumpy, I just go in with some tweezers. I mean, it's not the safest way to do it, but I just kind of like push together the lashes that I want to be like together in sections. Or to kind of like squish the clumps, I guess. I don't know. Something that I've always done when I'm not happy with how my lashes look. And then I did kind of make a mess on the top, so just going in with a Q-tip. And since we didn't set the eyelids with powder, it'll come off pretty easily, like so. Don't use the primer on the bottom, and I still feel like it's too dry, so. I mean, I think I'm just not a fan of the mascara. I mean, if you have it and you like it, then that's your thing. It's just not my thing. I can use it and I can make it look great, but just not a fave. Alright, so I'm just zoom you in so that you can see. This is the eyes all done for the simple look. And the last thing that I want to go in with is the Pearlizer. I'm just going to put some of that on my cheeks as a highlighter. And then I'm going to buff it out with my sponge. I think it might work better if I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand and dip in with my sponge. Yeah, that disperses it a little bit better so that there's not like a stripe there. So yeah, that's pretty. Gives a nice little sheen. And you can see like my sunburn kind of poking through, and I mean, I don't mind that. I prefer a medium coverage foundation. I don't really like a full coverage where you can't really see your skin through it. If you don't like that, then you can definitely use more foundation to build it up. But I prefer my natural skin to peek through a bit. I'm just adding the Pearlizer on this side. Alright, and then since we didn't really set our eyelids, the dewiness of the foundation is still kind of above there, so I don't really need to add any there. So that's the finished face and eyes for the everyday kind of simple look. I'm gonna zoom you out, and then now we can do lips. So since it is more of an everyday look, I'm gonna go with a nude lip. So I do have the shade Apple Cider in the Senegence Lip Sense. Can you see that? With this, you're supposed to go in with 3 thin coats, and you want to try to go in the same direction. So instead of like going like this, you just want to go like in the same direction. I split it, so I go in this direction on this side and this direction on that side. But you just want to let that dry in between coats. Try not to like squeeze your lips together or touch them too bad. Alright, so that is dry. So the first couple times that I've tried the lip sense, I've tried wearing it without any kind of topper, and that just doesn't work. It remains sticky all day. Like the stick won't go away. So if you press your lips together, it'll like stick together and it'll ruin it completely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over it with the matte gloss, because that is supposed to eliminate the stick. And it helps seal it. See, now you can press your lips together and it doesn't stick at all. So yeah, that was the major mistake that I was making. If you like a matte lip like I do most of the time, you can get the matte gloss to put it over. It is nice and moisturizing and it feels nice, like it makes your lips feel nice and soft, but it doesn't really give a shine. If you want to amp it up a little bit, you can use a colored gloss. I do have this gold one, which I think might look pretty with the brown wing. So I'm gonna pop that on over top just to see what it looks like for fun. So yeah, if you wanna just zhuzh it up a little bit, this is the Ultra Gold Glitter gloss. This is the first look done. I really do like the French Roast shade. It works really well as a liner, and it is more, it has a purple tone to it. It's like a dark brownish purple, which I like. I like cool browns, so I'm happy with that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and amp this up and turn it into more of a nighttime or a going out smoky eye. Alright, so I took off the lip, and now we're going to start building up the eye look so that it's a little more smoky, a little more sultry, for more of an after hours type of eye look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with some more of the French Roast color, and I'm gonna put that on the back of my hand like I did the last time. I find it's easier to work with these on the back of your hand versus off the wand or the doe foot, just because you have a little bit more control over what's going on. I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. crease brush. It's a smaller little blending brush, so I just have some on the back of my hand again. I'm gonna dab into that and I'm gonna start building up the outer corner of my eye. And I'm going to use the wing as my guide. I'm gonna try not to go below that so that we keep it nice and clean. I'm just slowly trying to build this up. And then just get to the edge. I'm kind of swiping a little bit just to blend out the edge to make it soft. I'm just gonna build it up a little bit more down here because you can still see the edge of the wing. So I want to make sure that blends pretty seamlessly. It's not really going to matter that much because I do want to put a black wing over this when we're done. So I'm just bringing this to this is the outer third, and then we're gonna go in with a different color on the middle third, and then a different color on the inner third. I do feel like sometimes if you keep adding layers with a brush, it tends to get like a little patchy. So you want to just keep building that up to make sure that it looks like a nice solid color and not like a patchy mess. So I'm just kind of stippling that outer edge. Like right now, that's pretty much dry, but I'm just like swirling my brush in there because it will still pick up product, but it will be a nice light amount. Then just stipple that on the edge so that it stays nice and blended while I'm still building color. As you can see, that outer edge is getting more blended as we go. So I'm gonna leave it right there with that color for right now. I think that's a pretty good base. And then if I want to go in and fix some more stuff, then I can. So the next color I want to go in with is the Smoke Shimmer. It's a pretty greenish brown shimmer. So I'm also going to put that on the back of my hand. So for that, I'm gonna go in with the Olimar, it doesn't have a number, but it's just this little shader brush. So I'm just gonna pat into that and then pat it onto the lid. And I'm just kind of keeping this in the center portion. I just like wiped off the excess on my hand just so that it's pretty dry so that I can then start to blend it into the darker color. Just making sure that's blending nicely into the darker color. I think that's a pretty good blend. And then the next color that I want to go in with is called Shell Glitter, a pinkish shimmer. And then that's gonna go in on the inner portion of the eye. Just gonna use the same brush that I used for the last shimmer and just getting the color off of that. Starting to feather that into the darker glitter, making sure to get the outside edges too. I think that is pretty good. I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit of the French Rose, just a tiny bit more because I'm not super thrilled with the way that blend is up there. So I'm just gonna try to mix it a little bit. like that a bit better. I think that came out really pretty. So I'm gonna pop off camera and do the other eye, and then I'll be right back and we'll add a wing. Okay, so second eye is all done. So the next thing that I want to do is add a wing. So I don't have any liquid liner from Senegence, but I do have the black pencil liner. So I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna draw the rough shape on, and then I'm going to, just like we did with the eyeshadow for the first wing that we created, I'm gonna use the same brush and I'm gonna smudge out the black liner to create the wing. I'm just gonna draw it on. And then I'm gonna go in with that Moda brush and pretty much do the same thing that we did with the eyeshadow, but we're just smudging product instead of laying it down. And since there is a pretty dark outer corner on this look, it's not gonna be a wing that stands out on its own too much, but it'll be there. And that's as simple as that. And it doesn't have to be perfect since there is darker shadow, and since it is a pencil liner, it's gonna be more of a soft wing anyway. It's not going to be a perfect line, but it just adds a little something to the outer corner. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side and we'll be back to finish it off. Okay, so both eyes have a wing added to them. So this one was proving to be the very ugly stepsister and it got a little out of control, so we had to kind of beef it up on both sides. So it's more of a blended wing than it was, but that's okay because I like how it looks. So I do still have mascara on. You can't really tell. I didn't do that much for my lashes, so I'm gonna try to add some more, but I probably will put on some falsies. I feel like nighttime look or like a going out look is geared more toward lashes. Senegence doesn't have any, so I'll just use some that I have. But I will put on a little more mascara just so you guys can see how it looks with just mascara, so that if you don't have any lashes or you don't like to wear them, you can see the finished look the way that you would most likely wear it. And then I am gonna go in with the black pencil liner on the inner rim. I'm gonna tight line and put it in the waterline. And this eyeliner is amazing. It really doesn't budge. So those are the finished eyes with just mascara. I'll do the lip now so that you can kind of see the completed look with all Senegence products. I'm actually gonna do two different ones. The first one that I'm gonna do is Hurricane Red. Okay, so that's 3 coats of the Hurricane Red. So I'm just gonna pop the matte gloss over that to seal it in. So there's the look with a red lip. I'm gonna pop some lashes on so that you can see how the red lip looks with the lashes and the eyes, and then I'll take it off and then I'll do a darker lip. While the lashes are drying, I'm gonna add something that I had wanted to add but I forgot. So I'm gonna take the French Roast color. I'm just gonna dip into it with that slanted brush, and then I'm gonna add that to the lower lash line, so that it has some color down there. So as it stands, it's looking a little left out. So that works just to connect the upper with the lower. And since the mascara and everything is waterproof, we don't really have to worry about that getting all smudgy when we go in to add it now. Alright. So that ties it in a little bit better. Okay, so lashes are on. These are the new Tatty lashes with Jamie Genevieve. They are the TL Jamie 2s. just in case you're wondering. But so this is the finished look with a red lip and lashes. I really like it. It's really kind of sultry, dark nighttime going out look. So I'm just gonna pop off camera again and take off the red, and then I'm gonna do a darker lip. The red is off. So the last thing I'm gonna go in with is the deep burgundy color. Okay, so with the gloss on, that is what it looks like, matte gloss anyway. So yeah, this is the finished look. I think I like this one the best. I love dark lips. Let me know down below which look was your favorite. But yeah, so I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time. Bye. How the red, the smoke shimmer. I cannot speak. It's what, oh, maybe, okay. Goodness gracious. Oh, what angle's the best? We're not gonna bother. Okay.